morning. That's what took me a minute to get on here. Okay, hopefully it will not come out of its carrier again. My gosh. So sorry. Trying a different stand. I'm finding that using my phone for these is a little bit easier. By the way, I am putting all of these sessions on YouTube. I have a Seeds of Change YouTube channel. I actually just started it. I had a request on Instagram. Someone said, hey, I'm not on Facebook. How can I see your 5-day challenge? And I thought, well, I'll try to post it on YouTube. So that's what I'm doing. So Seeds of Change Nutrition now has a YouTube channel. That'll be kind of fun. That made me do it. I've been thinking and doing it, and that actually made me get on and do it. So check that out too if you want to catch the replay that way. Tell your friends. If they're not on Facebook, they can watch it that way as well. I don't know what this is doing here. And so today, day 4, we are talking about portion control, and then there's two techniques for when an urge or a food craving comes on and you're not hungry. You know you're not hungry and it's an emotional response or whatever. I have 2 extra techniques that you may not have heard of. So stay tuned. Share this if you want. And I'm going to try to make this not an hour. So we'll get into it, okay? Let me know if you're seeing this live or on the replay. Go ahead and put some comments in, hashtag replay or live. Let me know you're here. How are you doing with the challenge so far? Hi, Diane. Good morning. Or is this is afternoon. Happy birthday. This is actually your birthday, isn't it? I think today is actually your birthday. I think so. So happy birthday. That's awesome. Mine is not until August, so I'm very grateful for that. So yes, I will be 53. So happy birthday. I hope you get to do something fun and enjoy it. Celebrate. Yeah, I heard this one time on, I don't know if anyone follows Joyce Meyer, but she said, I'll never forget one time she said, she said, why do we make such a big deal about a 1-year-old's birthday party, right? She goes, ooh, we made it to 1 year. A lot of times it is a huge deal. And I'm not making light of, my gosh, there's so many things that can go wrong. But it was just cute how she said, oh, I made it 1 year, and here we are, some of us in our 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, and so that's an accomplishment. So happy birthday. I hope you do something fun. Let us know what you're going to do if you have something fun planned. Okay, so today I wanted to tackle portion control and then 2 techniques I want to show you. There's also handouts for the 2 techniques in the files again. Those are, I'm looking at if I look to the side, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm actually looking at this Facebook page on my computer so that I can kind of see what's going on both ways. It's so helpful. So don't think I'm doing something else other than that. So I posted 2 worksheets that we're going to go over today in the page. So if you can't find them in the files, you can always find them in the post that I just posted within about 20 minutes ago. Okay, so portion control. If you're trying to lose weight, eating healthy foods is wonderful, but you can also overdo things by eating too much of even good foods, right? Our body needs so many calories. Everyone has different calorie needs depending on your age. Are you male or female? And of course, how much activity you get a day. And also if there's any medical conditions. Gosh, that's a whole different thing. But some medical conditions take more calories or maybe more protein for healing of wounds and things like that. And that's when you work with a registered dietitian and your doctor if you have some kind of medical condition. But for general portion control, we're going to use our hand. Okay? And so what the beautiful thing about this is, it's everywhere you go. If you are a male and say, you're a bigger framed male or even female, your hands are typically going to be bigger than someone with a smaller frame or smaller build. And so the beautiful thing is, your portion size using your hand is usually pretty on target. So yes, so what our goal is to get a lean protein. And you might want to take, if you guys want to take notes or put them in the comments for other people, that would be so helpful. And you can come back then and also take notes as well from maybe your comments even. Okay, so you want a lean protein with every meal. You want a good carbohydrate, and by that I mean one with complex carbohydrates, not simple sugars. And we'll go into a little more on carbohydrates and what counts as a carbohydrate. You might be a little surprised. Okay, so lean protein, you need your carbohydrate, your healthy fat, and I'm going to add one that maybe you haven't heard before, and that is a vegetable, a non-starchy vegetable. Try to do that with every meal, even breakfast. Even breakfast. Okay, and that's when meal planning ahead. You can make egg. Oh, what do you call it? Like an egg omelet kind of thing in a muffin tin, and you can have your vegetables in there. If anyone has a great recipe for that, go ahead and share. That would be great. But that's one way to get some veggies in. Smoothies, excellent way to get some spinach, all kinds of vegetables in there mixed in with some fruit, maybe some protein powder, some kind of clean protein powder, that kind of thing. There are ways to do it, and it will actually taste okay. Okay, so the goal is, so for your protein, and you want to try to do small meals throughout the day. Here's one more thing I want to throw in here. Maybe 5 to 6 small meals a day. Okay, and if you use your hand as a portion, you are going to be good. You won't even have to do calorie counting. It'll be great. And when you eat every, I'd say 2 and 3 hours or so, every 3 hours, sometimes up to 4, but every 3 hours, your metabolism is going to be fired up. And I use this with clients. So thank you so much, Diane. Yay! My note taker, thank you. Thank you so much. So doing this every 3 hours is great. And I like to use this analogy with the clients I work with. Okay, so say you have a bonfire, right? Picture a bonfire, a beautiful evening. The flames are going, everyone's chit-chatting, having fun. The flames start going out. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? You want to put have you ever put a bunch of logs on at once? And what happens to the fire? It puffs out, right? It oh my gosh, there's no oxygen for the flames to keep going. It's got to take a long time for it to burn through the big logs and everything. And that is like when, the fire is your metabolism. So putting heavy logs on the fire and having it go out for a while till it reboots, that's like having a really heavy meal all at once. Now, if you were to put, say, 2 or 3 logs, decent sized logs on the fire and just keep stoking it, that fire's just going to keep going, right? And you're going to be refueling it, but a little at a time, so it's not overwhelmed, but you're also fueling it to keep the fire going. So using that analogy, I think really helps people understand metabolism and how eating these small meals a day and giving your body all these nutrients throughout the day how it fuels your fire without making you sleepy and tired and bloated and everything. And there's more to that. Also, it's which, gosh, that could be a whole different section. What you know, I won't get too into this, but it also depends on, healthy foods are great, but it also depends on if you have any food intolerances, right? What's healthy and great for me might give you some digestive issues like beans, or something like that. But all that's a whole different lesson. But if you stick to those healthy macros that I gave you, and figure out what you can digest well and what gives you trouble, that's where food diaries and food journaling really comes in handy as well. I don't want to get too off track, but if you can stick to, okay, so I did not give you the hand thing. Okay, so the palm of your hand is usually, that is the portion size for your lean protein. And I don't know if you guys want to take notes or type it in there too, that'd be great. So palm of hand equals lean protein, I guess you could say. Okay? Then for your grains, your healthy grains, which that includes maybe some brown or white rice. Brown rice is better because it's got the fiber and everything in it, and some other vitamins, which will, white rice has just really been stripped of all the good stuff. So if you can do brown rice, that'd be great. But a carbohydrate is a cupped hand, is your cupped hand. Now, for me, my cupped hand, it's usually about a half a cup, right? About half a cup. So cupped hand equals carbohydrate. Thank you so much, Diane. Thank you so much. Okay, which is, and guys, if you can do this, it helps so much, and you will just be revved up all day. Okay, so for your fat, so we did proteins, carbs. So your fat is the thumb. Your fat is your thumb, and you don't need to do the whole thing. It's usually about your thumb to your knuckle. Okay, that's about the size of fat. That is about a tablespoon or so of fat. So you could think that would be olive oil, coconut oil, or even some avocado that you want to add to something. So say, thumb equals healthy fat. Thank you so much. Then for your greens, a fist is about a cup size for your greens for each meal. Now, the reason why you usually hear, this is if you're going to try to eat 5 times a day. Now, if you're going to only eat 3 times a day with a snack, you might want to make that a little extra. But so fist equals non-starchy vegetables. Let's put it that way. Fist equals non-starchy vegetables. I have actually, I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, I have actually gotten bloated from eating a salad. And I thought, what is going on? I'm eating a salad, and I didn't put like a lot of cheese, and I don't do that. I don't like cheese a whole lot because I feel like it covers up all the other great flavors. So I'm pretty healthy with my salads, but I was finding I was getting bloated, and what I realized was I was eating too much even of that. So that's why these smaller portions, your body has a chance to digest it before your next meal. And like I said, it just keeps the fire fueled. It doesn't dump. You can have too much, even too much of a salad can be too much for your body. And again, it depends on you, but really pay attention to how your body responds to your meals. So that's why I was like, a cupful, I'm supposed to have like 2 cups of raw vegetables is usually a serving. So I would see how you feel on that. So yeah, a fist equals non-starchy vegetable. So that is portion control on the go, easy, anytime, anywhere. And so when you're at a restaurant, it gets a little trickier when you get, say, a meal like or at home, if you make a casserole or something like that, you have to kind of eyeball it, look at it and say how, if it's even like a healthier lasagna. Yeah. And I get, yeah, see how you feel with a salad, right? I was like, what is wrong with me? I'm eating vegetables. But yeah, it can be too much at a time. Yeah. And especially I'm finding as I've gotten a little older, I'm having trouble with beans. And if I eat too much peanut butter or even almond butter, it doesn't, it takes me a while to get back to normal. So listen to your body and kind of pay attention. So that is portion control made a little easier. And then say, yes, I was saying if you make a casserole or a healthy lasagna or something like that, kind of eyeball it. And I would say maybe a cup to cup and a half. Uh-oh, I'm losing my network. If it's, connection available. Sorry if I froze there. Got frozen. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, maybe a cup or cup and maybe a cup, depending on how much cheese and everything else. Kind of use your good sense, but maybe, for a casserole, maybe try a palm size or a fist size of that and see how you feel. Okay? So that's portion control. I hope that helped you with that. That's something just easy that I think people can follow. Okay. All right. Now, for the 2 strategies you've maybe not heard of. Okay. So this is when an urge comes on. You're not hungry. You're stressed, or you're bored, or you're lonely, or you're tired. Usually it's me. I'm tired or I'm bored. Usually it's those 2 things when it gets me. And you know what? When you're tired, there's actually it's a physical response. It's a hormonal response going on in your body saying, I need fuel for energy. And so it's called ghrelin, Ghrelin, ghrelin. I never know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it's the hunger hormone. And when you don't get enough sleep, that actually kicks in, because again, it's trying to say, oh my gosh, I'm tired. I must need food to stay up and stay fueled. And that's also when we get the urge to have fatty foods, sugar, caffeine, all of that. So knowing that as well, if you're tired, take a nap. If you're not hungry and you're tired, take a nap and see how you feel after. Or, for me, it's closing my eyes for even 20 minutes. I feel refreshed, but kind of get yourself out of the situation. Okay, that's not one of them. Okay, this is called, the first activity is actually called fusion versus diffusion. And it's Fusion versus diffusion is Defusion. So what this concept is, it's really called diffusion. And what the concept is, and again, like I said it yesterday, this is all about awareness and getting us out of our emotional head to our logic, right? When we have these urges. I need food and I'm not hungry. So diffusion is taking a step back and saying, and is looking at your situation from a higher perspective. And I'm not trying to get all woo-woo weird. It's just, diffusion is trying to see it. Okay, so one example is, okay, this is going to look silly, but if you put your hand right up to your face, right? What do you see? Well, you can usually see, you can't see your hand very well at all. It's kind of like double blurred, and you can kind of see your hand, but you really can't. You can kind of see an outline of it, and the lighting's all weird. And then once you take your hand farther away, you're like, oh, I can see it. I can see it clearly. What's going on there? If you have freckles or whatever's going on there. Oh, I can see my hand. So that's diffusion, is taking yourself out of the situation and looking at it from a distance and saying, my gosh, I'm not hungry, but I want that chocolate bar so badly. What's going on? Right? What's going on? And it's then making a choice of how you want to handle it, and I've got another strategy that can kind of go along with this here in a second. So it's looking at it from that higher perspective, right? It's also fusion. Fusion would be, I see the hand and I just don't try to look away and I just react without stopping. So I just eat the chocolate bar. Okay? So it's that, does that make sense to everybody? Let me know if it makes sense. Okay. Yeah. A concept out of emotional head into logic. Take a step back. Thank you. Thank you, Diane. Perfect. Okay, and I have a worksheet. If you want to do this or keep this at home, again, put it on your refrigerator or something, or, put it on the fridge or put it in the cabinet. Do you have a cabinet that you go to that you have snacks? We're going to talk about that tomorrow. There's some stuff about that tomorrow. But say, perfect place to put these notes inside your cabinets, wherever you're tempted. Put that stuff inside your cabinet, on your refrigerator. I do this with clients as well. We have a little, what would help you? We do some individual coaching on that. So anyway, what this says is, example of being fused, which means I just go for it. I am fused with this emotion and I just go for it and react however I'm going to react. And it says, what was your experience and what was the behavioral outcome? So here's an example. I craved a slice of cake, so I ate it. That was being fused, right? Behavioral outcome of that. I ate the slice of cake. It put me 250 calories over my daily calorie goal. I felt tired and over full and bloated afterwards. Okay? Versus being diffused, looking at it this way, right? I craved a slice of cake and recognized that this was just an internal experience, right? Logic. Behavioral outcome. I chose a piece of fruit instead of the cake, which allowed me to stay within my calorie goal. I felt lighter when I went to bed and I didn't feel bloated. I felt good and powerful, right? Awesome. So there is a worksheet in the files if you want to do that. It's kind of fun. Okay. Did that help at all? I hope that helped a little bit. Make a choice on how to handle it. Very good. Thank you so much. Okay, the next one I wanted to give you guys. This is funny. Okay, it's called urge surfing. The urge to surf. No, it's called urge surfing. Okay? So what this is kind of cool too. It can kind of go along with diffusion, actually. So urge surfing is when you say, oh my gosh, I want this chocolate or a piece of cake. I'm not hungry. But instead of saying, it's just handling it different. So what it is, it's first of all accepting. Now this is an acceptance-based behavioral approach, this whole challenge. So it's accepting that I am having a craving right now. And instead of this is bad and getting tense about it, it's okay. All right, I'm having this craving. I'm going to go with, it's not going with it. It is, in a sense, it's not caving in and having the big slice of cake or whatever, but it's accepting that this is happening, and let's just kind of go with it, right? Let's experience the rise, the intensity, and then, oh, it's subsiding, and there's different ways to handle that too. You can say, oh, this is coming on really strong. I'm going to go in the other room or go for a walk. call a friend or whatever. You know, there's techniques, right? But it's riding the wave and experiencing it as well and going through it and seeing how it subsides. So it's a little different, but it's kind of fun. Now, there is a worksheet in there as well, and I'm going to show you, this is fun too, because if you make some printouts of this, actually, the other thing I also suggest when people have this and they're working on it is to journal your way through it. Speak out loud, like I said yesterday, but also journal through it. And so this worksheet, Urge Surfing worksheet, can actually help you do that. It says, there's 3 questions to help you through it. What are the exact thoughts, feelings, and physical sensations you're having right now in your body? So boy, doesn't this help get it over here to your logic. Ooh, this is so powerful. This is why I call this Powerful You, because this is what I love. Okay, number 2, describe the location in your body where the urge exists. Wow, who's ever thought of that before, right? I love this. Is it actually, that's a kind of tough one. You really have to think about that one. Where does it start and where does it stop? Is it all up here? Is it a craving, an actual craving in your belly maybe? I don't know. We all experience things differently. But it just gives you so much power. You're not a victim of your emotions, you know? It's good. What I like about this too is we don't want to stuff our emotions. That's not what this is about at all. And especially, you know, yeah, I won't go all there. But I don't want this. What I like about it is you're accepting them for what they are, and you're writing them. But you're writing the emotions, but you're not letting it be such a negative outcome. You're controlling your, here you go. You're controlling your behavior during that urge or craving, right? That's what it's all about, is controlling your behavior using these techniques, right? That's what it is. Okay, third question to ask. What happens when you're open to this internal experience and are not trying to suppress it or get rid of it? Power. Right? There's a lot of different answers you could do. What happens? I felt powerful. I felt accomplished. I handled it so differently than I've ever handled that before. Oh my gosh, I have to tell my friends about this. You know, I feel so good. And so it's just a really cool thing. I hope you guys got something good out of those 2. And the portion control. Yeah, so the bottom line is accepting the feelings and through those techniques, controlling your behavior and the outcome of that experience. All right. Now this is a little tease for tomorrow. And so along with the urge surfing and the diffusion technique, it's important to use other strategies that I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Excuse me, I'm going to go on at noon again tomorrow. Okay. Day 5 of the 5-day challenge. So I'll get to the homework in a second. But it's important to use strategies I'll talk about tomorrow at noon to reduce the likelihood of engaging in unhealthy behaviors when you experience cravings and strong urges when you're not hungry. So there's other techniques called like stimuli control to go along or to even help prevent the urge surfing to be needed in the diffusion. And for it helps with the you to resist temptation. Okay, so that's tomorrow, along with some fun announcements. And also, I don't know if you see in the, hold on here, if you see in the title. Okay, so I am giving, for folks on here this week, I am giving free coaching sessions. They're about 45 minutes, and what we do in these, they're really, free of charge. I want to get to know people too and see where you're at and how I can help you. We'll get to know each other, and then we'll see. Coaching is all about where you are and where you want to go, and then the coach helps you really. It's helping you figure out how to get there as well, with the coach as the guide, right? And so there should be a link. I don't see where I'm at here. There should be a link in the title where you can book a time to sit with me, or we'll talk on the phone. And it's 45 minutes, and so we'll get to know each other. We'll discover where you are, where you want to go, and I even like to say, what have you tried in the past, and what works for you and what doesn't? And we're going to figure out where the gaps are, to how why you're not getting where you're going, and that's a beautiful thing. So you're going to come out with clarity on where you're at, what your gaps are, and then direction on how to proceed. And so I would love to meet all of you. It's free of charge. Go ahead and click on the link. And if my schedule is a little crazy right now, but if you are looking at the schedule and something doesn't quite work for you, go ahead and message me. On this page, there is a section, and it says Seeds of Change. This is a group by Seeds of Change. Send message. If you just send me a message, we can communicate and try to get you on the books. Okay? So don't let that hinder you. I would love to meet you guys. Okay. So we have that. So tomorrow's our final day. Yes, so we're gonna more tips on how to get unstuck, and some other tools to use to powerful and happy. Yes, powerful and happy. I love that, Diane. Exactly. Because you just accomplished something. I've talked about small wins and how each little choice you make, takes you either further towards your goal or away. Now, it's not to say we all have our challenges, and some days it's just too tough. Well, that's okay. Your next choice, that's all right. Your next choice, you have a choice the next time, the next meal. So that's the power in that too. There's no shame whatsoever. Okay, so tomorrow is learning more techniques on how to, really, it's almost how to foolproof your home, and how to get you a little more power into even avoiding the urge surfing or diffusion or any other techniques. So, okay, so look again tomorrow at noon. I have some fun announcements as well, and go ahead and book your appointment. I would love to talk with you, learn more about your situation, and you guys have an awesome, powerful day. All right, I'll see you soon. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.